What's up, Blue Devil Nation? Welcome back to Duke Basketball Update. Man, this offseason is getting crazy. The transfer portal is officially in full swing, NBA draft decisions are changing the entire landscape of college basketball, and once again, Duke is right in the middle of all the chaos. We already knew there would be major roster turnover after another heartbreaking tournament exit, but now we're finally starting to see exactly who's leaving Durham. And honestly, some of these departures are expected, while others could completely reshape the future of this program. Today, we're breaking down the full Duke basketball off-season roster tracker. Who's officially gone? Who's heading to the NBA? Which transfer losses hurt the most? Why Jon Scheyer is attacking the portal differently this year, and what all of this means for Duke's national championship hopes next season. And trust me, there's one departure in particular that I still can't fully believe happened. But before we dive into all of it, if you're a real Duke fan, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We're building the best Duke basketball community on YouTube, and this offseason is going to be insane, so you do not want to miss what's coming next. All right, Blue Devil Nation, let's talk about this roster turnover. And honestly, this was inevitable. Anytime you recruit at the level Duke recruits, you're going to lose players every offseason. That's just the reality of modern college basketball, especially when you combine NBA draft departures, NIL opportunities, transfer portal movement, and roster balancing. But what makes this offseason feel different is the pressure surrounding Jon Scheyer. Because let's be real here, Duke has now suffered back-to-back devastating NCAA tournament exits.
Last year, the collapse against Houston in the Final Four absolutely crushed Duke fans. Then this year, another brutal ending against UConn in the Elite Eight. And if we're being honest as Duke fans, the biggest issue in both losses was experience. Not talent, not athleticism, not recruiting, experience. Late-game execution, composure, physical maturity, veteran decision-making. That's where Duke came up short. And I think Jon Scheyer knows it. That's why this offseason feels much more aggressive when it comes to the transfer portal. Now, let's go player by player. First up, Malik Brown. Malik is officially out of eligibility, and man, Duke fans are really going to miss what he brought defensively. Maybe he wasn't always the flashiest player statistically, but his impact went way beyond the box score. He brought toughness, versatility, switchability, defensive communication, winning habits. Those types of players are incredibly valuable in March. And honestly, sometimes fans don't fully appreciate players like Malik until they're gone. Now, let's move to the NBA draft departures. The biggest name here, obviously, is Cameron Boozer. Now, technically, at the time of this report, he hadn't officially announced yet, but come on, everybody knew it was happening. And eventually, Cameron officially declared for the NBA draft as expected. What can you even say about Cameron Boozer at this point? National Player of the Year, one of the most accomplished freshmen in college basketball.
The centerpiece of Duke basketball all season long. He was phenomenal. And honestly, Duke fans should appreciate how special that season really was, because players with that combination of skill, IQ, physicality, leadership, and consistency don't come around very often. Replacing Cameron Boozer is impossible individually. You don't replace players like that with one person. You replace them collectively. Now, Isaiah Evans is another major NBA draft departure, and this one hurts because I truly believe Isaiah was just scratching the surface of what he could become. His shot-making ability is elite, flat-out elite. There were stretches this season where he looked completely unguardable offensively, and if he develops physically at the next level, watch out. NBA teams love players with his scoring upside. Now here's where things get really interesting. Dame Sarr. His situation still feels like the biggest unanswered question surrounding this roster. Because if Sarr returns, that changes everything for Duke. Seriously, his versatility, athleticism, defensive upside, and offensive growth potential make him one of the most important swing players on this roster. I honestly think Duke's ceiling next season changes dramatically depending on what Dame Sarr decides to do. Now let's talk about transfer portal losses. First up, Darren Harris. And honestly, this one felt expected. Darren Harris officially committed to Indiana after entering the portal following 2 frustrating seasons at Duke. I think most Duke fans could see this coming. Sometimes fit just doesn't work out the way people expect. Coming out of high school, Harris was a highly regarded recruit with real shooting upside, but consistent playing time and offensive rhythm never fully materialized at Duke. And honestly, I wish him success. Sometimes players simply need a fresh start and a bigger role. But now let's talk about the one that really shocked me, Nicholas Kamenia. Man.
Now, I'm still struggling with this one as a Duke fan, because unlike Darren Harris, Kamenia felt like a future breakout star at Duke, a former 5-star recruit, nearly 20 minutes per game as a freshman, elite physical tools, positional versatility, huge long-term upside. And honestly, it really felt like he was about to take a massive sophomore leap. That's why losing him to UConn hurts so much more. Not only are you losing talent, you're losing future potential. And to lose that potential to another elite national program like UConn, yeah, that stings. Especially after what UConn has become nationally over the last few years. Now, do I understand why players transfer in modern college basketball? Absolutely. NIL changes everything. Playing time matters, player development paths matter. But from a pure basketball standpoint, Kamenia leaving feels like one of the biggest roster surprises of the offseason. Now, here's the good news for Duke fans. Even with these departures, Duke is still loaded. And that says everything about how strong this program has become under Scheyer. Because while Duke lost major talent, they also retained critical pieces. Caleb Foster, Caden Boozer, Patrick Ngongba, Sebastian Wilkins, and potentially Dame Sarr. Then you add transfer portal additions like John Blackwell, Drew Sharnofsky, Jacob Theodosiou, plus another elite freshman class. That's still a national championship level roster. But the difference now? It looks older, deeper, more balanced, more experienced, and honestly, that might be exactly what Duke needed after the last 2 tournament exits. Because talent alone doesn't win titles anymore. Roster balance wins titles. Depth wins titles. Experience wins titles. And I truly believe John Scheyer is learning that lesson and adapting in real time as a head coach. That should excite every Duke fan watching this right now, because great coaches evolve, and Scheyer absolutely is evolving. But now, I want to hear from you guys. Which departure hurts the most? Do you think Nicholas Kamenia will become a star at UConn? And what's the biggest move Duke still needs to make before next season starts? Drop your thoughts down below because I read every single comment. And again, if you love Duke basketball, hit that like button, subscribe to Duke Basketball Update, and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We've got a huge offseason ahead, Blue Devil Nation. And as always, go Duke!